Hello and welcome to Criminal History, and these are great films about mental health. Joker by Todd Phillips took on the monumental task of reimagining the Joker after the Oscar-winning portrayal of the character by Heath Ledger. Joaquin Phoenix's masterful performance as the Joker managed to do what Jared Leto could not in winning an Oscar for his comparatively brilliant performance. The film focuses on the many aspects that shaped Arthur Fleck into the Joker. In particular, the film deals with themes of mental illness and how this helped create his disturbed mind. Arthur was abandoned as a child, and his fate may have been worsened still when he was adopted. Penny Fleck had a delusional disorder and likely a personality disorder to match. The film showed that his step-parents badly abused and beat him as a child. A severe brain injury he received at their hands was another risk factor for developing mental illness. As he grew older, his mother raised him to be submissive, kind and gentle. However, a series of events made him crack under the pressure and start acting out. As described by Valentin Yurievich Scriabin, Arthur has symptoms of pseudobulbar affect, likely caused or exacerbated by his head injuries. This is also known as emotional incontinence, which in his case causes him to burst out laughing uncontrollably when in stressful situations. He meets the DSM-5 criteria for narcissistic personality disorder. He also displays elements of psychopathy as he does not have empathy for his victims. Girl Interrupted is based on Susanna Kayson's memoir of the same name. The film is based on her experiences of being sent to a female psychiatric hospital in the late 1960s. After she attempts to take her own life, her mother has her sent to the hospital and she signs herself in under duress, which lays the groundwork for the film. Immediately when she is taken to the ward, the diversity of mental illness is strikingly on display. Each character has their own unique problems and mannerisms. The main character, played by Winona Ryder, is diagnosed as having borderline personality disorder. However, it must be said that in the film she does not exhibit many of the symptoms of BPD. In fact, she seems to be the most stable one in the film. She seems more in a consistent state of depression than anything else. She is labelled promiscuous by doctors, but there is little evidence for that. Rather, it seems like she falls victim to predatory men abusing their power. Angelina Jolie, the next most prominent figure, is a sociopath named Lisa. Her manipulative charm and confidence are evident from her arrival, but so is the fear she inspires. Her manipulative charm and charisma has everyone, including staff members, fawning over her. However, unlike a true, cold-blooded, calculated and calm psychopath, she often erupts in vicious, uncontrollable and violent outbursts. Her sociopathy is shown in her extreme jealousy of other people, no more so than towards the character Daisy. Daisy herself suffers from obsessive-compulsive disorder, leading to strange behaviours like only eating chicken in her room where no one else can see. She also seems to be addicted to laxatives. These are maladaptive coping strategies used to overcome her lifetime of sexual abuse by her father. After Lisa gets jealous of Daisy's new apartment that her abusive father set her up with outside of the hospital, she launches a scathing personal attack on her. She rubs it in, telling her everyone knows he abuses her.
You change the scenery, but not the fucking situation, and the warden makes house calls. And everybody knows that he fucks you. What they don't know is that you like it.
Prompting her to end herself. Her callous lack of remorse when they find the body is chilling. We are also introduced to Pseudologia Fantastica, as Susanna's roommate is a pathological liar. The character Janet also has anorexia, so there is a host of conflicting mental illnesses which makes for interesting and captivating viewing. Set in 1954, Leonardo DiCaprio stars as Detective Teddy Daniels in Shutter Island, alongside his partner Chuck, played by Mark Ruffalo. They are sent to an island to investigate a mental hospital for the criminally insane. In particular, they are investigating the escape of a delusional child killer. The island hosts various mentally impaired and disturbed patients. It soon becomes apparent that Teddy was one of the men that liberated some of the Nazi death camps. The horrors he had to behold made him lose faith in not only God but humanity itself. His fractured mind is not only tormented by the frozen bodies he found at the camps, but by his and his platoon's violent revenge against the surrendering German guards. Indeed, PTSD is not only caused by external traumas placed upon a person, but also by how cruel and evil they themselves can be. They realise they are more monstrous than they thought possible. Although in this context, the revenge is morally justifiable given the extreme circumstances and horrors on show. He is also plagued by haunting visions and nightmares which soon reveal that he himself is actually a patient and not an investigator at all. It also hints at why he is there. As it turns out, this whole investigation is an illusion created by himself to cope with the devastating reality of why he is in there. Teddy has delusional disorder. Before he was sent to the institution, he had a wife and young children. His wife was suicidal and a manic depressive. His already fragile mind from a brutal war was crushed when he returned home from work to find his wife had drowned his kids. In a fit of rage and sorrow, he murdered her, thus sending him to the asylum and forcing him to develop the delusion as a coping mechanism. Black Swan is a powerful film about an aspiring ballerina attempting to fulfill her dream and become the premier ballerina in the Broadway showing of Swan Lake. Nina, masterfully played by Natalie Portman, wants to play the role of both the white and black swan, but the world of dancing is cutthroat and competition surrounds her like hyenas. However, it soon becomes apparent that her dream is not hers alone. Her mother, a failed dancer herself, pours her own dreams into her daughter. She imprisons her in a life of purity, sheltering her from the reality of the world and thrusting her into the danger she is trying to protect her from. In particular, her dance choreographer is a Harvey Weinstein-esque creep. She wants this part more than life itself, and Thomas, the choreographer, uses this and her innocence to manipulate her into falling for his predatory advances. How Thomas manages to keep his position without a string of sexual harassment lawsuits and dismissal for impropriety is incredulous. Nina starts to exhibit signs of mental illness, exacerbated by the stresses of her upcoming role as the White and Black Swan. This is further heightened by the emergence of her polar opposite Lily, played by Mila Kunis. Lily is everything she is not: spontaneous, carefree and promiscuous. Nina has severe anxiety and neuroticism. She shows signs of obsessive-compulsive behaviours as a self-coping mechanism. She is utterly immaculate and punctual at all times. She also develops many psychotic episodes where she sees hallucinations. She also has an eating disorder and body dysmorphia, which is common in ballerinas who aim to stay ultra thin year round. It can also be surmised that Nina also struggles with a form of self-harming, using her nails to scratch herself during times of pressure and anxiety. Leela befriends Nina and ultimately tries to steal her role as Black Swan. Although she is initially excited about their friendship and breaking free from the clutches of purity, Nina begins to panic and unravel. On one occasion, Leela manipulates her into taking drugs. Then, in the morning when Nina sleeps in and suffers from the inevitable come-down, Leela assumes her position as the Black Swan at practice. Nina becomes absolutely unhinged at this and the impending doom of perhaps losing her place as the Black Swan. She starts to gradually suffer from a complete psychotic breakdown, complete with horrifying hallucinations. In her delusion, she believes she actually is transforming into the Black Swan. This ultimately leads to the performance of a lifetime as the Black Swan and her own demise.